If you've practiced with me before, welcome back. It's great to see you again. If you're new here, hi, I'm Paige. This is Yoga with Paige. And today we have a nice full body stretch to get us limber, feeling open. If you are in the practice of using a block or a blanket for some of these deeper stretches, I would grab them now to have them handy. And if you're ready, grab your mat, unroll it, and let's begin. Today we will be starting on our knees, or if Sukhasana, easy pose, feels better for you, you can start there as well. So we're going to close the eyes and tuck the chin into the chest. Slowly roll the neck to the right side and behind and over to the left, just making slow neck circles, keeping the shoulders down. And reversing the other way. Releasing any tension in the neck. And when we're ready, when we've evened out, coming back up to center, blinking the eyes open if we had them closed, taking the hands behind us, fingertips or palms, the fingers pointing towards the sit bones, just opening up the chest, lifting the chest to the ceiling. Finding a nice stretch through the collarbone. And gently releasing, rolling up onto the knees and extending the right leg out to the side, keeping the left knee pointing towards the front. Flexing the right foot, walking the right hand down the leg, reaching the left over, finding a nice lateral stretch. Opening up through the rib cage. And taking it to the other side, planting the left palm, extending the right hand over the head. Keeping the knees and the toes pointed towards the ceiling. And coming back up using our core, taking the right leg in and extending the left. Keeping the chest lifted, sending energy through the fingertips. You can always pad the knees if that feels better with a blanket. And planting the right hand, reaching towards the opposite wall. And coming back up, bringing the left foot in, coming onto all fours. Preparing for cat and cow. Grounding through the fingers, This time for cat and cow, I want to shift the weight back. We're starting with cat. So shifting the weight back, really pressing open the shoulder blades, and then shifting the weight forward on the inhale, dropping the belly, and shifting weight back, finding a little flow here. Can peek at me if you need to. Warming up the spine. Moving with the breath. Using the shifting back to change. And one more round. Meeting in tabletop. And inhaling the right arm up to the ceiling, wiggling the fingers, saying hello. And threading the needle. Lifting the left arm, reaching it behind the back, trying to grab the opposite thigh. Really opening the shoulders. And releasing the hand, pressing back up into tabletop. Raising the left arm. Hello. And threading the needle. Ooh, my spine just cracked. Raising the right arm. Bending it behind the back. If this feels good, if it doesn't, don't do it. Wherever we're at today, just stretching, finding what feels nice. And gently releasing, coming back to tabletop. Grounding through the fingers, tucking the toes, lifting the hips, sending the hips back for downward facing dog. Pedaling through the feet. Grounding through the left foot, raising the right, bending the knee, and making hip circles with the knee. So we're making circles with the knee going one way. Finding some mobility in the hips. And reversing the circles. And taking the right knee, tucking it into the chest, and coming into pigeon, lying the shin down on the mat, finding what feels good here today. Maybe we rest on a block. Keeping the chest lifted, taking a nice inhale, and on the exhale, walking the fingertips out, coming to lie on the forearms or the forehead. I always like to find a little wiggle in my stretches. Maybe we try that, or we find stillness, whatever your body is calling for. Breathing deep into this stretch. And gently raising back up wherever we are, lifting the chest. Planting the hands, tucking the back toes, and sending the right leg back to meet the left, coming back into downward facing dog, paddling out the feet, pressing through the hands, grounding through the right foot, raising the left, bending the knee, and finding the hip circles on this side. And reversing. And tucking the knee into the chest and releasing it down on the mat for pigeon. Playing with the angle of our legs, finding what feels best today. Maybe totally different than yesterday. Keeping the chest nice and lifted for a breath. Big inhale and exhale, walking the fingertips out. Sleeping pigeon. Feeling yourself go deeper and deeper into this stretch. Remembering to breathe. And gently raising back up, lifting through the chest. And this time, turning onto the sit bones gently, keeping the right leg extended, scooting to the middle of the mat. Going to extend the left leg into a wide straddle. Legs can be here. They can be here. Do not have to open them all the way. Just finding enough space to feel the stretch. Toes and knees pointed towards the ceiling. Long, straight back. And walk the fingertips out in front. Find a little sway. Opening up the groin. Keeping the sit bones on the mat. And lifting up the chest, Walking the fingertips over to the right side, squaring the torso, and gently folding over the right leg, keeping the toes and knees pointed towards the ceiling. Maybe grabbing onto the foot, giving her a little massage, giving her a little love. And taking the right arm, placing it on the inside of the foot, reaching the left overhead. Maybe we can reach the foot, maybe we can't. Finding a nice stretch in the ribs. Keeping the chest open. And raising up, planting the left fingertips, taking the right hand over to the left side, opening through the chest. If we need to bring the legs closer together at any point, feel free to do so. We're not in competition with anybody. We're just and gently taking that right arm back, turning the torso to face the left leg and folding over. Maybe giving this foot a little massage. And coming back up gently, taking one leg in and the other, nice and slow. Planting the hands and coming up. Heel toeing the feet out for a wide-legged forward fold, toes pointed to the edge of the mat, straight out in front. Toes pointed to the edge of the mat, out in front. And we walk the fingertips down the legs. Maybe we rest on a block. And let the head hang. If we can reach the ankles, maybe we grab those, try to pull the head through the legs. Wherever we are, gently releasing the fingertips to the mat. Turning the toes out to the sides, pointing out, bending the knees, coming into goddess pose. Find our foundation here, keeping the knees over the ankle, and sinking down into the hips, taking the hands onto the knees, putting the left shoulder forward, gazing up at the ceiling, and the right, and switching. And coming back to center, really sinking into the hips. And straightening the legs. Woo-hoo. Turning the left toes to match the right, facing the front or back of your mat. Stepping the back foot in a few inches. Taking the hands behind the back, keeping the back nice and long as we fold forward. Finding a flat back. If we'd like to release the hands for some stability. Keeping a little bit of a bend in the knees. Stretching out the hamstrings. Elongating with the breath and folding, elongating with the inhale and folding over on the exhale. And using the core, raising back up. And taking the fingertips to the inside of the foot, walking them out in front, turning the feet to face the other side. Taking pyramid on this side. And taking the hands to the inside of the left foot, walking back to the front, turning the toes to face the front of the mat, heel toeing them in a little bit, then turning the toes out, bending the knees, coming into yogi squat. We can always place a block to rest the sit bones on. We can have the feet as wide as feels good. Play around with this movement here. Just the opening of the hips. Maybe using the elbows to gently press open the knees. And opening the arms, taking the left to the sky, the right fingertips on the mat. Coming back through center, switching sides. Taking the fingertips to the mat, gently finding a seat. Thank you for practicing with me today. I'll see you next time. Namaste.